Hi, I'm Arlene McIntyre, Creative Director at Ventura Design, and you are listening to Shut the Front Door, a light-hearted podcast that will bring you through the front door and into the homes of influential and interesting people. Home for me is one of the most important things in my life. My career has fortunately given me the opportunity to work closely with people and to help them create a home they will cherish forever. Anna is an award-winning anchor on Virgin Media's breakfast show Ireland AM. Anna has a huge interest in interiors, home design and style, all of which were showcased in Dream Homes, which she fronted recently. Life is busy with 3 boys at home, so we are delighted Anna has taken the time to join us and speak about all things home. Good morning, Anna. Thank you for coming in.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. I could move in here.
And I'm such a fan of you. You are in my house every single morning. I switch you on when you're on.
Thank you, Arlene.
It's exciting to have you here.
That's very kind. Thank you. I should have been here before now, being a fan of the Ventura brand myself for a number of years. And I don't know whether you remember where we met. This is like a romantic story I'm about to tell.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But it was the Ideal Homes show, maybe close to 10 years ago, because it was one of the first times that I was sent out on a kind of a remote OB. And you were one of my first guests in that kind of a scenario. And I just remember thinking, this woman is so calm and so soothing. And she really knows her stuff. And the show house, you had designed the show house at the Ideal Homes show. Yeah. And the whole thing was just like, this does not feel like work.
That's great feedback.
Yeah.
It was actually the Great Gatsby show house we did.
That's right.
And you were dressed up in the whole Gatsby gear.
Yeah.
I still have photographs of you actually somewhere. I must dig them out, but that was fun.
That was fun.
I was shaking like a leaf when you interviewed me that day.
Really? Well, you know what? You
so
showed
nervous.
no signs of nerves whatsoever. So that's a skill in itself, isn't it?
But you made it easy.
Oh, thank you. And I was such a rookie back then as well. So thank you for that. That's very kind. But we got on well and we had fun.
We did.
And the brief, I think, was to have fun in a house like that, wasn't it?
It was fun.
Gatsby style.
It was so stressful. I mean, when I look back at that actual project, I can't even believe we got it ready in time for your show.
Yeah, you were under pressure.
Yeah. Today I'd love to chat to you about your home, and I'd love to start with your childhood home.
Yes.
What memories can you share with us about your childhood home?
My childhood home was in Temple Oak, still is. I still say to my husband, I'm going to drop home for a second, and then I realise, oh my God, I'm a grown adult and I'm a mother of 3 children. But I still call my parents' house in Temple Oak home as well as my obvious home where I have my children. So I think that's probably a good sign in that it will always be my home. And I walk in and out of it with my own key. And a lot of my stuff is in the bedroom even now, which might sound a bit weird, but it's just totally normal for me, you know, and I would still make myself at home in that house, you know, go to the fridge, do my own thing. But it was always like that. It was always, what would I say, a warm space, a safe space for me growing up.
Mm-hmm. And what posters did you have on your bedroom walls as a child?
Walls.
Or as a teenager?
Funny, I remember my mom would be the kind of person to really into interiors as well and really into the garden. And I remember saying to her, like, what is the story with all the borders and the pelmets and all the fuss? And actually now I look at images of the rooms and they're really like they're back in fashion, aren't they? All of that detail. And I even joked with her, you know, before I moved out into my first home, I remember saying to her, like, I'm going to get rid of all this fuss in my house and it's just going to be like clean lines everywhere. She was like, yeah, that could be quite boring, actually, you know. So we would have a bit of a laugh and a joke about it. But of course, it was the 80s. Yeah. That was trendy to have busy lampshades and, you know, clashing carpets and busy wallpaper. And she would change things regularly. And there was always a project. And she would do the wallpaper herself. She would bring home the samples. She'd have samples all over the walls. She'd look at them for a few weeks, make a decision, go and buy the wallpaper. And then she'd do the wallpaper herself. It was like she did everything.
But everything was very kind of accessible at the time. Yeah. I remember when I moved back from America to Ireland, it was around early 90s.
Okay.
And exactly that. You had 3 different types of wallpaper going on. The one above the border, then the border, and beneath the border. And as you just described, the different patterned rugs. It was like there was a lot going on.
There was a lot of layers. Yes.
Exactly, but it was a trend. And even like blue and yellow was a big kind of trend, mixing those two colors at the time.
Yes.
And terracotta was a big color then.
That's right, yeah. You can almost tell, well, you certainly can, but even us non-interior experts can tell when you walk into a house. I've looked at my fair share of houses before I've bought, and you can tell the year almost, can't you, that they decorated.
Yep, exactly. We often get customers that have bought homes and they bring us in the brochure from whoever the agent was.
Yeah.
And it's like going back in time.
Stepping back in time.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But,
if the TV was on, you'd almost be able to see like the A-Team or MacGyver or something, wouldn't you?
Exactly. MacGyver. And tell me, Anna, what is your own style like?
Do you know the way people, and I'm guessing you're totally one of these people, can nail their style? They can describe it. It's neutral, it's New Hampshire, it's, New England. I can't kind of pick a category. Is that really bad?
No.
Like sometimes, for the most part, I love clean lines, neutral colours, neutral with warmth. I suppose is important. But then there's other times where I would look at something and think, oh, the texture of that is beautiful. Or actually, like a Rixo dress is a good example, just to step away from interiors for a moment. Initially when they came out, I was thinking, oh, that's horrendous. And then your eyes adjust, don't they?
Yeah.
And you go, actually, I really like what they're doing there.
Yeah.
So I kind of contradict myself sometimes in fashion, in interiors, in lots of things.
Mm. And like when you say you can't describe your style, would you, when you're kind of going through, say, interior stores and you're in that particular space, do you just totally embrace that and you're like, oh yeah, this is me. I think this is me. I love this. This is my look.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
You're probably here, say if you were here one day and you went somewhere else the next day that was totally mid-century and really bold. Would that then you'd be like, yep, that's me too.
Yes.
Are you?
I would. And I would have moments of, this is just so me, but actually the reality when I step out of it all and look back in, and if someone were to say, you need to choose now for your home for the rest of your life, I think I would probably be 90% Ventura. And then there might be other bits that I'd go, actually, that looks quite eclectic or that looks kind of bohemian. And I might add it in. But for me, the bones of it all, the bread and butter of it all is very much your style, which is why I'm sitting here with you today, obviously. And the rest is a bit transient.
Yes, that's a good
word. Or
word.
a bit temporary. And it might be a nod to a mood or a holiday or something like that, but actually it's not going to be a lifelong piece that you pass on to, your children or something that you'll never get fed up looking at, which is very important, I think.
And do you think your kids have influenced your interiors? Because a lot of people really
they've ruined
build their home. Okay. But it's like
in so many ways. I mean, they've ruined my chances of having certain types of furniture, which I totally resent them for. I say this with tongue firmly in cheek, obviously, but I resent them for the dirty marks that are on my furniture and the spaghetti spillages and the stains that don't come out and the handprints up the walls. Yes, it drives me nuts. But it does influence my choice because it has to. Like, I can't live in a show house with 3 little boys.
Of course you cannot. No, totally. Yeah, we get that.
I would love to. Love to. My husband is way more accepting of the mess that they make. It's like an eternal struggle to make it perfect.
And what ages are they? What ages are they all
now?
Just
firefighting all the time. They are 3, 6 and 8.
3.
Now the 6 and the 8-year-old are like very manageable in terms of, I can kind of bribe them to do anything or look after anything. But it's the 3-year-old. He's 3. It's not his fault.
Yeah. And so do you have like little zones for them in the house, like a kid's room?
Yeah, so our house is over 3 floors.
Okay.
So I think the top floor, but I often remind them of this, is supposed to be like the master bedroom with the big ensuite and my walk-in wardrobe. But actually the whole thing has been handed over to them it's somewhere between them and a spare room because I need a spare room. My parents would often stay over, mind our kids, and we would escape for a night. So I need that spare room there. It's nice to have a spare room. So that's kind of on one side of it. And then the other side is their playroom. and it's kind of evolving now into an Xbox kind of PlayStation zone for them and their friends, and they have a foosball table and stuff like that. So I have to remind them every so often that I'm being really sound letting them take that space.
Yeah. What's important to you in your home? Like when you come home after a really busy day, where do you go in the house? Do you have a special little corner, room?
I have a corner of the living room, which is desperately impractical. There's gold silk curtains on my windows, and there's a blush pink chair in my front window. None of that is practical with boys. But you know what? Sometimes you have to go, I've made a lot of practical choices here.
Yeah.
I would like to have a little bit of girliness or a little bit of glamour somewhere. And that's my kind of section. I have a vintage magazine rack, and it's just my little zone. And even when the lads jump up on the chair sometimes, which obviously they do, James, the conscientious one, will go, that's mum's chair, get off it. Do you know, so, or don't get up there with your shoes on.
She's going to kill you.
She's going to go nuts. Yeah, exactly. So that's my space. I mean, how often do I sit in it? I'd be doing well if I did once a week.
Yeah.
But when I do,
but you know it's
I'm delighted with it.
Once you know it's there and you can go there, you know, that's
and sometimes I might just walk through the living room en route to somewhere else and look at the chair and go, I fucking love that chair. Do you know, it's just one of these, I took it from my father and mother-in-law's house. They were moving it on and I had it reupholstered and stuff, and it was a little project. But I just look, I actually genuinely get joy out of it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. And do you have like a dining room, or is your home... Do you have your home as open plan living?
It's open
and you
plan,
use all the rooms evenly, equally, or?
Yeah, I don't have a good room. I totally aspire to having a good room, but right now we have a wide open plan downstairs and separate to the sitting room. So it's very much, and I think every Irish house, probably every house in the world is the same. Everyone gravitates to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And that's where we hang out. And yes, it's a TV living room area as well as kitchen table. As well as lots of glass to look out on a back garden, which is very important to me, because once the weather gets okay, I have the lads out there kicking their ball around and I can be inside doing the dinner or whatever and see them.
Yes.
You know, and those little things are important just for that peace of mind.
Yeah.
So that's a busy space.
Mm-hmm. And colours, is colour important to you? Do you find that it can impact you? Do you like bright spaces? Do you like deep tony, kind of cozy spaces?
You know, I like deep tones when I'm in a hotel.
Yeah.
Or somewhere like that. You know, like the navy walls and the dark charcoal ceiling, and that all really works for me in a hotel room. And sometimes I leave it and go, oh my God, I need to be way more adventurous when I get home. But actually, for my home, I choose kind of safer palettes, and I'm looking at your colours on the wall here, and like that is my world.
Yeah, fresh maybe? You're more like a fresh
grey,
light.
different tones of grey, very neutral, and even when there is colour, it's a watery blush or a watery blue. Is that like a cornflower blue?
Yeah, really neutral. You like super neutral, soft probably colours.
Yeah, so I think what I've learned is I really enjoy other people being adventurous. Like if you sit in the Ivy, for example, in the restaurant.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of busy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's kind of the busy that I would have criticised my mum over. But actually, when I'm sitting there with
if you've had
girls,
a few drinks, it's not too bad.
No, it's not. So you start to go, oh my God, I think I said this to one of my girlfriends the last time we were there. I went, oh my God, I'm so boring. Like, I need to be way more adventurous with my wallpaper and, you know. Yeah. And then you go home and go, no, I don't actually.
I know.
So that's a restaurant.
No, I totally get that. We get a lot of people. They're like, oh my God, did you see the interiors in such and such cafe, pub, restaurant, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think, when people are coming home, they just like to
And would you give that advice that that's a restaurant, not a home?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely in our process, we'll take notes on the brief of what they like, what they don't like, what has inspired them, what restaurants they liked, what hotels they visited that they loved, what they took away with that, and try and build sort of like a brief around how to approach their home. And a lot of people, eventually, by the time we get to the 50th question, they're like, yeah, you know what, I just want to keep it really pared back and simple. And my life is just so crazy. I just want to have it just a really zen-like home.
Yeah.
But equally, I think it's important to experiment with colour in the home. Just maybe layer it in gently so it's not, too much.
Yeah.
And it's not a major investment, maybe.
So I'm not the only person that sits in kind of kooky spaces like that going, oh,
no, you're not.
No, okay, good.
No, not at all. And your morning ritual. Oh. When you wake up in the morning, how does your day begin?
It depends on the day. So I'll give you the day at home. and then maybe the day in studio. The day at home is very much, I try and get ahead of the posse. So I have the alarm going off just before 7. And my husband leaves very early because he does CrossFit. And he's religious about that. So he's gone from early on. So I kind of try and sneak down. Now, quite often I'm sneaking down, and that creates the movement in the house, to get a coffee. And it's like the crown jewels.
Oh, yeah.
And I bring it back up to bed. And then I might have 2 sips of the coffee, and suddenly they descend on top of me. Can we go downstairs is what they're always looking for. Can we turn on the telly? Can we do this? And then it all kicks off. But I might have like 5 minutes sometimes where you just have a coffee in your hands and quiet.
That's nice.
And that's just a gift. Like, you just can't put a price on that moment.
I know.
Because I don't bounce out of bed despite working on a breakfast show, and I never did. You pretend to. Obviously, you work on a breakfast show. You have to be sprightly.
I am surprised that you said that. I've always thought everyone on those morning shows were just, built that way. That
Yeah. No, even when I'm on, so let's say the studio day, like particularly a Friday morning, because it's the early day, so we go to air at 7. So I'm in there for I leave the house at about 5:15. And at 6 o'clock you're in makeup, and you'll be surrounded by people who are chatty. And for me, I take maybe half an hour of just kind of relative quietness. Yes, we'll have a conversation, but it's at a kind of quite a low energy level.
Slowly.
You slowly come round. Yeah, I slowly come round. Whereas other people will bound in the doors. Yeah. And it just comes very easy to them. But I build up to it. And then I would move into the studio about 6:45 for rehearsals. And that's when I'm awake. Like, I'm wide awake because I've had 2 or 3 coffees. I'm hyper.
Yeah.
But I do take a while to get to that point.
So that's your peak, kind of around what time? 9?
We're on air from 7 till 11, 4 hours. It's a long morning, and it's busy. Depending on what's going on, it can be very busy, and it can be very choppy changey as well. So you're kind of on for that whole time. And at 11, then you finish, and you kind of crash about an hour later. That's when you get tired. Yeah.
You need a
and ideally, I don't pick up the kids till later on, so I can get a little nap in. And that's fine. Saturday and Sunday, walk in the park. We don't go to air till 9 o'clock. Like, I'm not in there till 7:30.
Perfect.
That still sounds early for people, but when you're used to the earlier,
yes,
it's a gift. It's lovely. It's a lie-in.
And do you bring your work home with you? So, like, if you know you've got a big person sitting on your sofa on Saturday morning, are you thinking about it for the week previous to that?
No, because I wouldn't know. For the most part.
Okay.
If we've a big guest, I think we knew about Graham Norton, for example, maybe a week before. Only because one of my pals, the producer, Billy, would have texted me going, oh my God, we've got Graham Norton in. So it would be like a text of good news. And then, you've got that person in your mind, and you're more conscious of that person, or, you're doing work when you don't even realize you're doing work. Just because you're a conscientious person, I suppose, But for the most part, you find out the night before, or maybe 2 days before, what you're doing.
And are you thinking about that? Like, will you bring work home with you to your home? You do.
And I would read my notes on my phone or on my laptop at home, because they're sent to me by email the night before. And sometimes you'll read them, and it'll be a harrowing story. And then you go to bed thinking about that.
Yeah.
And by the time you meet the person who has the harrowing story, you want to cry before you say a word, which is why sometimes in the middle of an interview, I'll really try and fight back the tears, because it's not just that interview. Viewers are seeing that interview for 5 minutes, but you've been thinking about it since the night before. And, some of the stories I won't.
So true.
I won't bring the tone of your lovely podcast down, but my goodness, the stories and the court reports that you would read are kind of horrendous. Yeah, it's hard to move off it. And I find that sometimes the most difficult part of the show, to throw to a break and come back, and the floor manager, who's only doing their job, will go, okay, you're over at fashion. And suddenly you're talking about, like, starry dresses or something. I don't know.
And how you can just switch in and out of that. It's just tough.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're nearly being disrespectful to them.
Exactly.
By talking
and you've
about
barely said goodbye to that person
who's
poured their heart out on live TV. And usually it's people who don't even want to be on the telly who do these things to save somebody else, or to drive awareness, or,
Would you ever pull them aside and say, listen, I'm going to have to be whisked away to do this? Or
yes.
It's just my job. Or,
absolutely. Yeah. You're apologising.
Exactly.
For not sitting with them afterwards. Yeah, absolutely.
But they're also nervous coming into you.
Yeah, and in those situations, I would go to the green room beforehand as well. And Simon would too. Sometimes we'd go in together, sometimes we'd go in separately. Sometimes we'd go in separately and not even have a conversation about going in. But you would definitely have a conversation with someone about a serious interview like that beforehand. And just to say to them, you know, if you're choked up or you can't think straight, we will always fill that gap. Mm-hmm. So don't, you know, you let them know that you're minding them. It's live telly, it's not what they do, and it's not what they enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of us really enjoy this business, you know, and a lot of people like the limelight and are excited about it. But actually, most of these cases they're not attention seeking, or they actually hate the idea of being on telly. But they're doing it for a charity, to drive awareness, to drive a fundraising campaign. They're doing it out of the goodness of their heart.
Exactly. And you're trying to manage that all the time and how that is portrayed, as you say, on live TV. It's really...
Yeah.
That's
and
stressful.
Show kindness, you know, and a warmth. And
kindness is such a buzzword at the moment, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
And
I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think it's nice. I noticed someone said something, not horrible, something negative about one of those wardrobe posts that they put up on the Ireland AM Facebook page. You know, Anna's wardrobe today is from wherever. And one person said something negative, and then all these people jumped on the negative person with the, did you not get the be kind memo? But actually, it's kind of nice.
Wow. Good.
You know?
They had your back.
They have your back. Yeah, people are more conscious of being kind.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I wonder, are guys as critical towards, you know, men? Are men as critical towards one another as women are?
Yeah, no.
Or is it just women that are the most?
Yeah. Well, Simon joked with me recently saying he's been rotating the same few suits and shirts since we launched 4 years ago. I was like, that's hysterical. Because...
He's funny, though. You guys are a really good duo.
He doesn't care. Like, that's his work uniform, right? So he couldn't give a hoot. And it just ticks the box for him. He's dressed, you know. It's like.
But most guys are like that.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Of course they are. If I wore a dress from a few years ago, people would be sending in pictures going, here she was wearing that dress. Why is she? Now, maybe not in this climate of sustainability. And it's a bit more trendy to, you know, and we even have the likes of Kate Middleton re-wearing her coat and all that kind of stuff, which is great. But up until relatively recently, there definitely would have been one or two viewers that would pull you up over wearing the same thing again.
My God.
And that's women. It's always women. It's never a man who'll remember a dress.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Men will remember if they liked you or not.
Yeah.
Do you know, or if she looks hot or not. Do you know, men, like they will. Women will remember the details.
Yeah, we'll get funny comments sometimes when we post, say, a new project or in one project in particular, I won't name it, but there was a lot of like, you think they would have gone for better colours than that on the walls, or I hate that cushion, or, you know, really, really. And you're thinking, God. Like,
really? From men?
From women.
From women.
Yeah, only women.
There you go. Wow.
So, but anyway, you got to just roll with the punches.
But isn't that what's great about the world? That not everyone picks the same colour cushion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We all
be
have
unique.
different... Yeah. And be you.
And be you.
Yeah.
Well, that's really important back to home and interiors. Like, I would always refrain from copy-cut paste. I think that's dangerous. And I think it's important to try and find out who they are and what they like and really what is their favourite colour. And a lot of people say, I absolutely love so-and-so's living room. I want it exactly like that. And I don't think that's good. I think it's important to try and mix it up.
Yes.
And, you know, maybe they like a sofa that's a lot more comfortable and they have, you know, 3 boys and that colour sofa is definitely not going to work for them. And
do you get that a lot? I want my room to look like hers.
Yeah. A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll try and kind of tease them out of that.
I kind of get that though. Because you can traipse around shops looking at stuff and get totally... It's like, I don't know why I'm thinking of sunglasses, but you start trying sunglasses on. Did you ever do this?
Yeah.
And then you've tried on so many pairs, you're like, I don't even know what I like anymore. Or what suits me, or what colour I came in for, and like I just need to walk away.
Well, definitely that
so when you see that finished room in
that has inspired
Millie's house or whoever it is, and you go, I love everything about that.
Yes.
I can totally understand someone coming to you going, just give me the lot.
Yes.
Just give me all of that in my house. Now, you're probably going to go, well, it won't suit your windows or the aesthetic
there's
of
those
the rest.
things,
Yes,
little things, but it's great that we get their style. Instantly, you kind of get their vibe and you're like, oh, okay, you like that. And then you know how to tap into them.
Yeah.
Because the tapping in part is often the most difficult part. They think they're so-and-so person.
Your style is
not.
so adaptable that it could go into any space, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's not old, it's not new, it's not, it's
quite neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
and
actually
comfortable.
genius.
So we like comfortable and neutral and timeless, really. That's kind of our thing.
That's your thing. Yeah.
And Anna, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you a spiritual person?
My son, James, is making his communion this year. And we have a little, no, I won't say conflict is strong. We kind of have a bit of a laugh and a joke about it because neither of us are very religious. But there's something in me that says I'm not religious. My husband definitely isn't. In fact, he would bypass the whole communion thing if I gave him a chance. But he's in a Catholic school. I don't want to make it...
Yeah.
I don't want to make an exception of him. Although there are a few children opting out of it. Anyway, I'm going around the houses here with this answer. But I feel there are some nice messages to take out of it. And if he just took the be kind, do unto others messages, then I think it's a nice thing to do. I do think there's something out there, and at times where I'm panicking, genuinely panicking in my life, and there haven't been too many times, I've definitely turned to someone. I don't know who that is. But when you find yourself going, oh, please sort this out for me, make that person be okay.
Yeah, and who you're talking to.
I don't know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
But I do feel there's someone there. I don't agree with... like even James has this rehearsal tonight for his confession, and I have an issue with them, which is why I'm bringing him, not his dad.
Okay.
Make up your sins, tell the priest the sins. I'm like, he's 8 years of age, So yeah, I don't agree with all of that, and I'm kind of a bit hypocritical by going through the communion thing. Anyway,
I don't think you're alone in that, though. I think
it's kind of part and parcel of where we live and the history of Ireland, isn't it? And yes, I made my communion and my parents wouldn't have questioned it for a moment. It was just the done thing. We question it now in this generation, and we can make different choices, I suppose, in terms of taking our children out or moving them into different spaces or whatever. I do think there's something there, though, which is why I'm happy for him to go along with it and not take it word for word.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no, that's a good answer. No, I'm just always in and out of people's homes, and I always see little objects like, and I've said it before, like a little angel, or they'll have like a special stone or a crystal or something from their travels that reminds them of something, or it has kind of a positive.
Yeah, and I totally get that. I totally get that. It's like there's an unexplainable attachment to it.
That's it.
But it gives you some kind of, it might be a worry stone or
gives you peace.
Something you bring with you if you're going on a journey or gives you peace, exactly.
Bottle of wine.
Yeah, a bottle of wine helps too. There's always wine in my fridge.
Likewise.
Might not be the makings of a meal, but there's always wine or bubbles.
What is the most luxurious item you have in your home?
Oh, that's a good question. Apart from your pieces. I would have to say the Ventura table.
Okay.
Or anything from Ventura, because I genuinely do feel that it's timeless. You're not going to move it on anytime soon. You're blushing. I better pick something else as well. I have a couple of things in my living room that I probably wouldn't have gone out and bought. So these were wedding presents. One is a painting from a girl called Lydia Brow, which I just adore. It's of nothing. It's just an abstract square over my fireplace. And my mum often says that literally looks like it grew there. It was just so meant for that space, even though we bought it when we lived in a different house. So I love that piece of art. And there's another thing, I'm not sure if she makes them anymore, but there was a girl called Kate Fine who used to design lights. And then she started this barcode mirror project. So you could go to her and pick your design. And there, how many mirrors? 5 or 6 mirrors?
Yeah.
You could pick, you know them, the widths of the mirrors, and they're like blocks. And you pick the leather panels, the colour of the leather down the sides of them. But it's a wall of mirrors, basically, but they're done in a really nice kind of timeless way. And I picked brown leather strips for the insides of them, and they're just beautiful. I love them.
And you have those where in your home?
I have them on the wall of my living room when you walk in on the right-hand side.
Catches the light.
6 long rectangles in different widths. So it looks like a barcode. I suppose that's the idea of it.
Sounds cool.
It is cool. And I'm not sure I would have ever gone out to buy it, but it was bought for us. And it was a beautiful gift and something really different.
And if your home was on fire and all your family, pets, everything was outside, and you had 3 things to save in your home, what would they be?
Oh, that's a great question. I probably would have to be photographs, wedding album, kids' pictures. Not that I have enough of those printed. They're on phones. Actually, I might need to grab the phone.
Yeah, that would be one of mine, my mobile.
Yeah, because I haven't printed off all the pictures from it. The wedding album or the photos that I can grab. And this is going to sound really ridiculous, but there's a seashell jewellery box that is worth absolutely nothing. I'd say it didn't cost more than a tenner. But James had holiday money in Portugal and asked me to wait down this little road in Alvor, a little fishing village, while he went into this shop. And anyway, long story short, he came out with this present for me, and he spent all his pocket money on this little jewellery box. And it's sitting on the windowsill in my bedroom, and it's just...
That's cute.
It's worth nothing but everything.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
I do. I got it.
So yeah, I'd have to grab that.
So they would be
if I could get upstairs.
And Anna, last question. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Oh, God. I'm so bad at this planning stuff. Like, I don't know what I'm having for dinner. I have asked a lot of people. Can I name drop?
Yeah.
Or will I sound like a total tosser?
No, name drop your head off. Go for it.
I've kind of made a habit of asking, big stars, do you have a, what do we call it, by the way? It's gone out of my head. A 5-year plan.
A 5-year
10-year plan, whatever it is. And every one of them that I've asked, I asked Helen Mirren, Dermot O'Leary, they've all said, I never had a plan. I just worked really hard, really nice to everybody. I don't think it's being nice to everyone because you think you should be nice to everyone. They are just nice to everybody. Worked really hard and things happened, and I hope that's the case because I genuinely don't have any plan. I do work really hard. I do totally deliver on anything I ever do. I'm very thorough. Everyone in work knows they can send me anywhere, and if they tell me we've 5 minutes with Cameron Diaz, I'll come back with 15 minutes. So that sounds a bit boasty, doesn't it? I don't want that to sound boasty or big-headed at all.
No, but you throw yourself at it.
I really
give it 100%.
And I try and over-deliver on every project I do. And that's why when I work with brands, I work with them on an ongoing basis and we have this kind of, lasting partnership. So I don't have any plan. I don't know where I'll be. I'd love to do loads more in telly, but there aren't a whole lot of TV programmes being made in Ireland right now.
Yeah.
And that's the reality.
Lucky position.
Every television presenter says, I'd love a chat show. So, of course, I'm going to throw that out there, but no one's making new programmes right now. It's like times are hard, so it's a bit aspirational to be throwing that out there. Maybe in the UK it might be more realistic, actually.
And social media, is that a really big part of your business, of you and your work and how you connect with your audience?
Yeah, it has become it. It's become a very useful tool for a commercial tool, a revenue stream for me. But also it complements other things and it's a great promotional tool for something I might be doing in work, to be able to tell your followers across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what you're up to and they follow your journey. So sometimes it is commercial stuff and sometimes it's very kind of normal life stuff. Sometimes it's editorial for the programme. It's really useful. I don't let it take over my life either. That
was my next question because a lot of people, it is such a big part of their lives and are you a person that brings your phone into the bathtub with you at nighttime or
no? Are
you checking it through the night or?
No, I don't wake up to check my phone. And I definitely don't take it into the shower or the bath. I'm switched on a lot, but I think in a healthy way. I'm able to, they say like if it stops you doing chores or going to the gym or, playing a board game with your kids on the floor, and it doesn't stop me doing any of those things.
Actually, how do you do Christmas?
Oh, interesting. We go to my parents for Christmas dinner. My brother lives in Australia. Sometimes he's home, sometimes he isn't. So I always like to be with my parents for Christmas dinner. And then usually we'll do Ben's family the next day. Ben has younger sisters as well. They have a blended family. So I kind of feel like they have lots of people around them on Christmas Day, whereas my parents...
And are you a real tree or an artificial tree kind of girl?
Oh, real tree.
Real tree?
Interestingly, I grew up with my mum, who I told you about earlier on, with her borders and all that fuss, and she had a white tree.
Okay, I remember the white trees.
Do you remember them?
Yes.
Artificial white. And I remember saying to her as a kid, like, this is so embarrassing. Everyone else has a real tree, and the people who don't have real trees have artificial green ones. We've got an artificial white
tree.
one. And then I was in somewhere like Harrods or Liberty a few years ago, and they had these amazing white trees everywhere. And I sent her a picture going, okay, maybe you might have been right.
Yeah, she was ahead of the curve.
Yeah, but like it took me about 30 years to tell her that.
Okay, Anna, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Bath or shower?
Shower.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Bedside, left or right?
Oh, left.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Red or white wine?
White.
Taxi or walk?
Taxi.
Why are you laughing?
Just sounds so lazy.
Home or abroad?
Home.
Eat in or take out?
Oh, a bit of both.
Bit of both.
Take it.
Text or talking?
Text.
Morning or night?
Night.
Kanye or Trump?
Oh, Kanye. Oh, I don't know. I don't know who's worse. Maybe Kanye. That's a great one, the last one. You see, you hear anything and Trump and you pick the other.
Oh, anything could be better than that. Anna, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Arlene.